Good evening, gamers. Good gamer evening. Ah, yes, have a good gamer evening. And a fine gamer to you, sir, yes. A gamer.
Malison: The Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror RPG published by Devolver Digital, currently in development, in which you investigate a sinister city filled with hundreds of grotesque monsters, demons, and weirdos. It focuses on exploration and atmosphere. Its main influences are both classic Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as survival horror games such as the Resident Evil and Silent Hill series. As you sneak through the city, you encounter all sorts of strange characters, many of which you can speak to, trade with, recruit to your cause, steal from, or even attack if you so choose. You can approach this game in a million ways. It's up to you how you plan to survive. Your actions may lead to wealth, disaster, betrayal, or may even lead to uncovering some of the city's darkest secrets and the game's many hidden endings. The main character is no powerful hero. You awaken in the city transformed into a weak, frail goblin, and may need to rely on desperate measures for your survival. You will likely need help from other survivors you meet, and it is up to you to decide who you trust and recruit to your cause. Combat is in a classic turn-based style with a focus on managing scarce resources and building unique strategies by recruiting all sorts of different party members, equipping them, and teaching them new skills. Monsters move closer to you during combat, increasing the threat and tension as they begin using their more devastating attacks. You do not want them too close. I stream development work of Malison Tuesday to Friday at 7 p.m. EST on Twitch. I also have new development update streams on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. EST. There is also a Discord you can join for the game. Check below.
Alright. It's time. And, alright, let's keep going on this. Hello, hello. Oh, I've actually started to implement the new assets to the roof, and it's looking really good. And it's not all there yet, though. The background changes are not in yet. And I still have something to do with this here. This is still one layer that needs work for the background. Yeah, it's looking really good though. Of death construction. Alright, so I set it up so that the music doesn't play on YouTube, hopefully. So I think that should be fairly safe. Worm time. It's worm time. That's right. Mm-hmm. Might be kind of quiet. I could increase it a little bit. Is that better? Yeah, I don't want it to be too distracting. Or too much. Yeah, I try not to. I try to avoid very loud music. I'm a little bit paranoid about losing my hearing. Or ending up with some kind of tinnitus. Yeah. That's why I almost never use headphones. Even when I really should be using headphones to stream, but that would make a lot of audio issues would go away really quickly if I was using headphones, but how did you get tinnitus? Oh, just maybe like a loud work environment. Yeah, sometimes just working at a place that's really, it's got a lot of super loud background noise, that can do it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hey, Hurlemo, how's it going? Yeah. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked the game. I do. It's, I'm French Canadian. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. here when I start streaming. I used to stream a bit earlier, but I like having a little extra time to like have a walk after dinner and all that. I don't really, you know. I like not being too rushed after I eat to get ready to do something. Thanks for dropping by. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I actually worked a little bit on Malison yesterday on my stream. Though it didn't show much of it. I'll probably return to those because they're not done. It was just a little sketch for them. It was just little sketches. Nobody wants him. Well, sometimes you're just inspired, and you just gotta go with it. I'm not sure. I mean, as far as dialogue goes, I think Memorial is the most fun. Memorial just also has the most going on. But, you know, there isn't really a battle there. And not much of a quest either. Just dialogue. Yeah, it's true. Their sprite could use a little detailing. I imagine Guitar Hero was a lot of people's first contact with dad rock of all types. It's up to player interpretation. I mean, they've kind of been scrubbed of gender by what happened to them, you know? the conscription kind of scrubbed them of most of really all like gender identifiers. I'd say it's possible that you know, the sort of mind infection has probably made them all take the role of male. Regardless of who they were before, because that's probably Anderson's memories is, you know, mostly male soldiers. But then, you know, as their memories come back, yeah, that probably sort of move back closer to what their original identities were. Or, you know, something in between. I've thought a little bit of the medic conscript that I was thinking of as a reason for you to sort of go back out of the apartment, and also sort of tell the player that they can leave it. They don't need to complete the whole thing to leave. Yeah, because it would be a good idea to give the player that indication. Maybe I could do a little sketch of the medic. Maybe I could give a sketch of the medic tonight. That'd be fun. It's killing you. The idea is that, so there's one of the issues, one of the many issues of the Warzone area of the landlord's apartment in the game is that when people enter the landlord's apartment, very often they don't realize that they can leave after making their first payment, because you're sealed in until you make your first payment, then you can leave. That's how it works. But a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people think that, they sort of lock into the idea that they're sealed in, and they just do the whole thing in one go, which makes the dungeon feel really grueling. Like, the people just think they're trapped, and, And that's a problem. I don't want people to think that they're actually fully trapped until the end. Because, yeah, it makes the dungeon way more grueling than it's supposed to be. Makes it feel like this just insane... Yeah. Doing that whole dungeon in one run is a lot. That's not the only problem it has, but that is a big one. So yeah, I was thinking one of the possible solutions to this would be to add another of those NPCs, and this one would basically give you a reason to leave. This one would basically give you a task that involves leaving. Would basically give you someone who's wounded that needs to be extracted out of the war zone. That needs to be taken out of the front lines. And you need to like bring this guy. You need to like bring this guy out, Yeah, I think that's a very common experience. Yeah, I think most people making it through the Mr. Anderson's apartment do it in one go. Hey, Tokyo Dolce, how's it going? Yeah, some follow-up quests for some of the groups and stuff would be very nice. And also little conclusions showing you what happens to them, to some of these characters after the game and all that. Stuff like that would be really fun.
Oh no, it's time to stretch.
But it could also get kind of complicated, and there's a lot more I want to do, so I can't promise any of those things individually. But yeah, stuff like that would be really good. Little stretch. Little stretch. This is a sprite. about some Genesis? Yeah. Time for a little Genesis.
Can you tell me where my country lies? Said the unicorn to his true love's eyes.
It lies with me, cried the queen of maybe.
For her merchandise he
traded in
his prize.
paper late.
Cried a voice in the crowd.
Oh, and as the note he left was signed all
Father
Father.
Thames, it seems he's drowned, selling England by the pound. Citizens of hope and glory, time goes by, it's the time of your life. Easy now, sit you down, chewing through your wimpy dreams. They eat without a sound, digesting England by the pound.
Yeah, pretty much. The others are just like little previews.
Man says you are what you eat well. Old man says you are what you wear well. You know what you are, you don't give a damn. Bursting your belt, that is your homemade sham. The captain leaves his arms right out through the night. Join the dance, follow on till the gray of sunset see the road. Follow on till the gold is cold, dancing out with the rolling night. Night till the green shields down and shout. There's a fat old lady outside the saloon, laying out the credit card she plays for June. The deck is uneven right from the start, and all of their hands are playing a part. Captain leaves his arms right out through the night. Join the dance, follow on, and round table talking down we go. You're the show, off we go. Play the hobby horse, I'll be the fool. We'll tease the bull, baby, loud and loud, loud and loud. Follow on, with a twist of the world we go. Follow on,
Yeah, there's other possibilities for the for getting the player to leave the landlord's apartment early. One possibility could be to lock the front door. That's a funny, simple way to do it. Actually locking the front door and then just giving the key quickly. Finding the key is what tells the player, oh, I can leave now. And now suddenly they think, oh, all right, I can go back home. I'm no longer trapped here. The one big drawback of this is it could be a bit confusing. People could think, oh, I guess I got the basement key after all. You know, some people would think maybe this is the basement key they just got. That's the main issue I foresee with that one. I mean, the basement key has a very specific look, but it's not guaranteed everyone's going to notice it when they first walk in. Could be something that isn't a key, so that the only key you get there is the basement key, to really clarify that this is something else. But, I mean, the quest, having a medic ask you to bring someone out, I think, is really the... Not sure where you would actually take that person, though. I'm not sure where you would take them. Maybe in the restroom? From regenerating? What do you mean? What? Does he regenerate health? I don't remember giving him... Oh, he does have a turn where he repairs, right? He has an action where he performs repairs. Is that what you mean? I mean, I think I need to think a little bit more than this about the... not just about Mr. Anderson, but... I think I need to think a little bit more about improvements to the landlord's apartment overall. I think there's a bit more to it than just adding those. Adding enemy variety is going to help a lot, and adding clarification that you can leave it is also going to help a lot, and also like completing all of the quests that are sort of incomplete in there is going to help a lot too. But I don't think it's all of it. I think there needs something else too. I mean, right now it's that just the rhythm of it is really intense. You don't have a breather. You know? It's all so intense and it feels like it's never ending. It's like a full, almost hour-long sort of side quest moment. And that's pretty intense. I mean, I want to start with those improvements, but, you know.
Sunday night.
the sun beats down and I lie on the bench, I can always hear them talk. Me? I'm just a lone
It's not based on any super specific war. I mean, it's got bits of World War II, but it's got trenches. And that's more of a World War I thing. But also the timing of, I mean, depending on when you imagine the game is taking place, World War II would make Mr. Anderson like 100 years old. And he doesn't seem 100 years old. So like Vietnam War would make more sense for that. So, it's a vague, it's the war, I'm not a war history buff. I don't really know that much about war, so I just kind of kept it vague.
The path is clear, though no eyes can see. The course laid down long before. And so with gods and men, the sheep remain inside their pen. Though many times they've seen the way to leave. He rides majestic past homes of men who care not or gaze with joy to see reflected there the trees, the sky, the lily fair. The scene of death is lying just below. The mountain cuts off the town from view like a cancer growth is removed by skill. Let it be revealed. A waterfall is madrigal, an inland sea is symphony. Na 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 na. Untitled songs urge the sailors on till lured by the siren's cry.
Uh-oh. Looks like my music has been... Oh, looks like my stream. My stream's music has been going through my speakers. Has been going through my microphone. People on YouTube watching, do you actually hear any music through my mic? It might have been too loud. Again, this is the kind of thing that I would avoid if I just used headphones. It's supposed to only go through on Twitch, but... yeah, it's supposed to only be going through on Twitch, but... yeah, I don't know. Well, whatever. It's possible that it detects it even if it's like really, really low in the background. In which case, maybe I just can't have any. Maybe I need to use headphones to stream on YouTube. That would be frustrating. Or I need to like be constantly talking over it or something. Ugh. Yeah, it might be like barely audible, but that might be enough for the... even if it's barely audible through the microphone, that might be enough for the computer to catch it, even if people can't hear it. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, it's giving me warnings. Yeah, that's annoying. I mean, I'll try to keep lowering the volume until it doesn't capture it anymore, but now I can't hear it anymore, which kind of ruins the whole point of me playing music while I work. I can barely hear it now. I guess we'll see. Oh, it's going through completely on YouTube? Hang on. The music is just playing on YouTube as normal? It's not supposed to. I'm on like the audio track that's supposed to exclude the music. Ugh, God damn it. I set up just for this. Alright, I guess that's not working. I did a test stream the other day. Yeah, I just turned it off now. God damn it. Alright. Alright, I guess it's enough Dad Rock for tonight then. I did a test of this like the other day. And this was working just fine. And now I guess it stopped working. Yeah, I have like this audio splitter that just cuts the music out of the main audio stream. Well, that's annoying. I hope I'm not gonna get any problems on my YouTube channel from that. Alright, I'll play some fucking video game music then. So annoying. I'll play Castlevania Area of Sorrow soundtrack. There you go. I guess I don't even need to change the fucking audio stream because this audio splitting doesn't work for some reason. So people on YouTube now, you can just hear the... Right now, people on YouTube, you can hear the Castlevania music. I just completely turned off my my speaker here, so it would only be coming through the actual audio stream. So yeah, it just doesn't work. The audio splitter just doesn't work. Great. Ugh. Well, that sucks. Alright, well, I'll have to look into that later. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, it must have. Yeah, look at that. It's using track 2, and it's supposed to exclude music audio. Yep, I don't know why. I don't know why. I guess I should make a test every time at the start of the stream. Hey Aiden Quinn, I'm happy to hear it. Yeah, that's cosmic horror, baby. Forcing ideas, like, in general? I mean, like, okay, ideas for something tend to be sort of self-generating. Like, working on making games, sort of, like, it's like it trains your brain to come up with ideas for it. So the longer you do it, the easier it's gonna be to come up with ideas. Like, after a while of doing it, it's just not really a problem anymore. You sort of build up a backlog of ideas. It's not really something you struggle after a little with after a while. I mean, you might have coming up with a solution to something is tricky. You know, coming up with a solution or like a very specific idea. You know, the more specific of an idea you need, the more it's likely to still be an issue. But yeah, like whenever you work on one game, it's usually more of a problem to not get distracted and start doing something else, because working on one thing is gonna naturally give you ideas to do other things, right? So, like, a lack of ideas in general is not really a long-term problem. It's just, like, your brain is just adjusting at first to working on this sort of thing. So it doesn't come that naturally to you at first, but as you work on something and as you get used to, as you train your brain to come up with ideas, it just becomes very easy after a while, you know? But yes, after a while, the fact it's so easy to come up with ideas becomes actually a liability, becomes a problem. Because you end up with, because like the one big issue with motivation with working on games is that very often by the time a game is less and less fun to work on, because now you're focusing on the part that's more like tedious work. That's when other ideas are gonna start sort of pulling you away, pulling your motivation away from this project and towards another one, you know? So yeah, ideas, it's just, yeah, the lack of ideas is just something that happens at first. Because yeah, your brain is just not used to thinking about that stuff yet, you know? But after a little while, it's not a problem anymore. Yeah, working on something is just gonna give you ideas for other similar and less similar things. It's just normal. Like your brain is seeping in the morass of game design, and that's just gonna naturally turn into ideas. You know, it's just like you're going to go from having one project and maybe 2 projects to having 20 projects, you know? So it's gonna go from one problem to the complete opposite problem very quickly if you do it for a while. Yeah, it very quickly goes from struggling to find a good idea to struggling to decide which idea to put your time and energy into. You know? Yeah, that's just a natural progression if you're interested in game design and building projects. Now, this might not necessarily happen if the thing you're doing in like a game isn't really like if your role in a game is very specific, that might not end up in like, you know, having too many ideas. It might be more specific because you're training your brain in more like a very specific thing. So if you're making art assets specifically and not necessarily thinking about like making different games, then maybe that's not really gonna happen. But the moment you're thinking more like, yeah, you're like thinking as a game developer in general, I think that's kind of inevitable there. That I mean, it depends. I have some days, depends on the day of the week, but On days of the week where I'm like supposed to be working, then it's gonna be like maybe 12 hours. Maybe like 12 hours a day. And on days of the week where I'm trying to take time off, then, you know, it's just gonna... Then that's gonna depend on if I need to be doing something. If there's like something urgent. Or if I have an idea for something. Sometimes you just get an idea and you have to do it, you know? Yeah, I mean, you know... It's... I think that's a very common issue with when you're working freelance on something or when you're working on your own projects, is that it's kind of difficult to keep a healthy sort of work-life balance when you're quote-unquote your own boss. Because when you're just working on your own project, then instead of having specific time to work on something, it just feels like you could always be working on it. And anytime you're not working on it, it feels like you're procrastinating. Every time you're not working on a project, on your project, it can kind of feel like you're wasting your time. And it's, yeah, it can be kind of shitty. It can even sort of hurt your enjoyment of your actual time off. Because you feel like, hey, like, instead of feeling like you're relaxing, like you're finally sort of relaxing from the job, from all the work you've been doing. Instead, it feels like you're being lazy. That's a very tricky thing about sort of, yeah, working on your own project, being your own boss. That is a very dangerous part of that. This is why even if you're your own boss, even if you're working on just your own project, you should still give yourself a schedule to work on it. It might feel like the fact it's your own project means that like one of the advantages is you don't need a schedule, but a schedule is still a good idea in my opinion because of that. Because it gives you a time that you can just stop working and not feel guilty that you're not working. So yeah, I do recommend people give themselves work schedules, even if, you know, even if there's nobody imposing it on you. Having a very specific time to be working, I think helps you not work when you should be working. I usually, basically, it's the days that I stream that I think of as the days that I'm working. So my days off tend to be the weekend and Mondays. But every once in a while I do stream on those days too, but it's more occasional. And it's going to be, you know, usually a more chill stream, or sometimes I'll be playing a game. I haven't actually played a game on a stream in a while. But yes, it's if you find yourself that you're like working all the time and you don't really have a lot of time for yourself, yeah, I do recommend you try giving yourself a schedule of some kind. And you try to stick to it. I think a schedule is also very useful, not just for that, but also for motivation. I think it's also like useful for motivation and useful for getting through rough patches of low motivation. Yeah. I think giving yourself a schedule, the way it helps motivation is that if you have a slump of motivation, if something is really sapping your motivation away from something, the schedule is gonna kind of help you to work on it anyway. You'll just like find something simple and easy to work on instead of the thing that's sapping your will to live, you know? You'll just find something to work on. And that's good. That can help to prevent this from being a vicious circle. You know? Because that's the thing. The really dangerous thing about when your motivation is shot from working on a project is that it can turn into a vicious circle where you start feeling like your motivation is shot for a reason or another. All sorts of things can trigger that, right? But then you start it starts being this sort of self-perpetuating thing where now your motivation is shot because you're not working on it. So you feel like a piece of shit. You feel like you've been procrastinating. And now it feels like the longer you haven't been working on it, the harder it is to actually get back to working on it. You know? Like there's this weird guilt that you've been letting it rot. And that guilt is making it even harder to work on it, you know? Yeah, having a schedule here can kind of help you push through this by giving you like, okay, well, I don't feel like working on something, but I still have to work, so I'll work on like a simple, easy thing instead, right? And yeah, you're still less productive, and it's still like, you know, your motivation is still down, but it kind of helps to prevent the vicious circle part of it. So like in the end, you still feel like, well, I did do something today. And so it doesn't have this feeling that you've been doing nothing at all for a week, which makes it even harder to get back to it. I feel like it helps, at least for me, you know, it helps in that way. Yeah, that's what you just said there, Dashington. Yep. Like that's kind of what I was saying when I said that, like, working for your own stuff means you feel like a piece of shit whenever you have time off, yeah. And so that kind of prevents you from enjoying your time off. Yeah. That's exactly how it happens, yeah. Like, you decide not to do anything really fun. You kind of stick to really low engagement entertainment because it's like sitting down to do something actually fun that takes more commitment to it. It feels more of an admission that you're not working today, you know? And it's like you want to keep sort of the door open to work, so because of this, you just don't even enjoy the time you're taking off. Yep, it really sucks. It's like you're taking time off, but you don't even get to feel good about taking your time off. Yeah, it really sucks. So I feel like that, to me, that's like not feeling good and not doing a lot, not being very productive from work. Like, that happens to everyone. And you can't really, like, prevent this from ever happening at all, right? That just happens. The part that I really want to avoid as much as possible is the vicious circle part of it, because that sometimes feels like there's just no way out of it. Yeah. So I feel, yeah, this is why I'm like, all right, I have a schedule. And I mean, so like I said, I think I described that before. Game development itself, especially if you're the kind of game dev that has to do like bits of everything, parts of that are really helpful for this problem. Because when you're out of motivation for one thing, you have like a billion other things you could be doing. You know? Yeah. Yeah, I really recommend people just give yourself specific work days and work times, and specific no work times and no work days. if you can. And like there can be some time that's like ambiguous. There can be some time left between those where it's like, you know, it's flexible if you feel like it. But have a few explicit, okay, on that day, at that time, I need to do something, right? Just even if you don't really have anything to work on, just make something up. Right? Yeah. When you have, that does kind of give you a little. And I imagine it also leads to like things where when you want to be playing something just for fun, but you feel guilty and you feel like you should be turning it into content. I imagine that's something that plagues basically all content creators. All content creators. Yeah. Well, I mean, game development also does, but it's probably a little easier to, you know, to not have to draw a line between them. I mean, I'm not like one of those game dev dorks that actually take notes when they play a game. Dorks. Fucking game designers over here playing a video game and making notes. Fucking Dorkenheimer. Fucking Dweebenheimer. There you go. Yeah. Good stream games. Oh, hang on. I think I missed a stretch break. Let's do it now. Ooh. I think streaming there's a few games that like streaming has kind of gotten me to play them that I'm not sure if I would have played them otherwise. I feel like to me the idea of streaming a game makes it a bit easier for me to like go back to an older game and play it. Which probably reveals that even though I don't do a lot of actual streaming of games I play, it's kind of infected me a bit. You know? Like I played like 3 Kingsfield games on Twitch. And I don't know if I would have actually played those if I wasn't like streaming. I like them, but I don't know if I would have given them a chance if I didn't have like the excuse that this is for a stream. Even though like it wasn't like exactly a popular stream, you know? Like 10 people were watching tops, you know? But that was still sort of an excuse. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot easier to sort of... Yeah, sometimes it's just a bit easier to sort of... Yeah. I mean, also, streaming as an excuse to do something has... I mean, that's basically the reason I started streaming originally. I had a lot of pixel art to do. And, I just thought that streaming it was a good way to sort of force me to not have any distractions while I work. Yeah. But otherwise, I just tended to get distracted in the middle of work. Hey, D-Day. There's a few games I can imagine... There's a few games I can imagine playing on stream. I think my backlog of CRPGs... I think my backlog of CRPGs I've yet to play... You know, playing them on stream might be a good excuse to get me to actually finally play them. All the new Infinity Engine-ish games, you know? The Tides of Numenera and the Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. You know, these are all pretty big, you know, time investments to play. But, you know, streaming them... That would make a pretty good excuse. Although, something about exploration games always makes me want to not stream them. Because I tend to be just very slow when I play an exploration game. I want to play it in my own pace. And streaming kind of makes me want to be faster. Yeah. It's true. Streaming is very scary. You're being observed. Imagine being observed. All it takes is one gamer word. Just one gamer word spoke aloud in a heated gaming moment. That's all it takes. I should think of a game to stream soon. Maybe maybe not something that's too too elaborate. Not something that would take like months. But yeah, maybe something to stream on the weekends. On Sundays. So probably not like a CRPG, because that's a little too much. But you know, some explory game. Nah. Is that an RPG? I've been hearing people talk about it, and it's always a little hard to tell if they're joking or not. But it doesn't seem like my kind of slop. It's a Monster Rancher-like. Wow. Of course. Yeah. I'm thinking more of an exploration-ish kind of game. A gotcha. That tracks. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of those. Yeah. The gacha game I've played the most was that mobile wizardry game, and it's basically what I thought. It's a good game, completely fucking ruined by the gacha mechanics. Even if you don't actually use them at all. Even if you completely ignore them. The gacha mechanics completely ruin the game anyway. Oh yeah, it's a raising sim, of course. I mean, if you like raising sims, boy, do I have a raising sim for you. Have you heard of The Unlife of Gorlak? Now that's a raising sim. The Unlife of Gorlak. It's a raising sim, but gay. Very gay. Crack that open. It's made by Landshark Roar, who's helped me a lot with Look Outside. I don't know. I don't know. I mean... I don't know if Dan would play it. Maybe Dan would think it's too casual for him. Maybe he would play it but complain about it the whole time. That might kind of fit. You know? That doesn't really answer my, Doesn't really answer. What should I play on my stream? Maybe next Sunday. Anyone's heard of like a recent sort of, you know, maybe like an immersive sim or a stealth game or something like that, or just some sort of exploration game, like maybe I don't know, an indie, like an indie sort of adventure game maybe. Skin Deep. I've played Rain World before. Oh, okay. Just looking through new releases here. Research story. A raising sim. No, farming sim. Life sim. The Wandering Village. I think I heard of that. Oh, you know, I haven't played the Silent Hill 2 remake yet. That might be good. Yep, I'm working on some updates. I am. Right now I'm detailing some of the end screens that were a little bit undetailed. Yeah, you know, Silent Hill 2, that might be a good one. Silent Hill 2 might be a good one to stream. That came out on Steam, right? Oh yes, Crow Country. Ooh, yeah, Crow Country might be good. Yeah, actually I have that one, but I still haven't played it. Yeah, Crow Country. Yeah, you know what? Crow Country might be the one. That might be the one to play. Yeah, I heard a lot of good about it. Yeah, I heard of Slitterhead. Yeah. The favorite lads. The lads are all here. I got a big project that's set aside temporarily while I finish up Look Outside, and I've been slowly getting back to it. Slowly getting back to it. Yep. Look, Malison is my main project that I've been working on for 10 years. Any lay facts? Some lay facts? I don't know. Like blood type? Astrological sign? Oh, they're subscribing, Theron. Appreciate it. Yep. Just been tweaking these ending slides that are a little sketchy looking. How long is Malison going to be? I don't think he's going to be much longer than Look Outside if you just play it all the way through. It's going to be maybe like 20 hours. But if you explore it thoroughly, it's going to be way, way longer. Because Malison has way more optional stuff. Malison is a very, very wide game. You know, it's a game where, like, the vast majority of stuff is, like, optional side quests and weird secrets, and it's so it's way, way bigger than Look Outside in just sheer amount of content. But if you just play it straight through without exploring that much, it's not actually going to be that much longer than Look Outside. So yeah, like about 20 hours maybe. Something like that. But if you like played very thoroughly and try to explore everything, it might be more like 60 hours or something. I don't know. It's kind of hard to estimate for like how long it would be if you played it very thoroughly. A more straightforward playthrough is a bit easier to estimate. Oh yeah, being completionist, that's very different. Although, the 100 or so achievements of Look Outside, people tried to convince me to reduce them. There used to be like 140 achievements, and I cut a bunch of them out. And I don't know how I'm going to manage to do that with Malison. With Malison, it's going to be a lot harder to keep the achievements to a manageable level. Just having one achievement for each character you can recruit would already would already push the achievements pretty far. And add to that an achievement for every boss you kill, and that would already be more achievements than Look Outside has. No. Not a single one. No emotional moments. Everyone's gonna play Malison like that. Just... not a single emotion. Man. If I had my way for Malison, I would put some really goofy achievements in there. But I feel like I won't be able to do that. I would definitely have the Dog Wizard achievement. But if I'm trying to stick to only, you know... you know, I might need to stick to the big stuff for the achievements. Maybe I can figure out some other sort of thing internal to the game that isn't achievements to keep track of. Oh, down the stretch, folks. It's down the stretch. this Friday, I think it's gonna be finally time for me to start playing some workshop entries. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Ooh, BFG streams. How's it going? Oh, nice. You just beat it? Nice. What ending did you get? I'm actually working on polishing graphics for one of the endings right now. It's a little nice. Yeah, that's yeah, cuz it's a little sketchy. Some frames are a little bit sketchy. I've been working on them. Nice. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yep. Yeah, I'm working on an update soon-ish, and another much bigger update, probably for Halloween. That one's going to be adding a hard mode. A hard mode that's meant for people who've already beaten the game. Nice. But yeah, it's gonna be a hard mode meant for people who've beaten the game. No, not a New Game Plus. Just it's gonna be accessible right from the start, and just it's just gonna like advise in the text for it that this is meant for people who've beaten the game already. So it's meant, it's gonna be balanced, presuming that you already kind of know where you can get some of the good stuff, Because yeah, this is the kind of game where your knowledge of where to get stuff changes the game's difficulty a lot. So once you've already beaten the game and you kind of know where stuff is, it's really difficult for it to challenge you again. So I feel like an extra hard mode for people who've beaten the game already, I think, is a good idea. Yeah. The monsters that appear in the corner, those are for a completely separate game called Malison: The Cursed City, which is a 10-year-long project that I set aside to finish up Look Outside. So I've been working on that one for quite a while. Yeah, the RNG helps, but even with the RNG, like, the location of, like, all the good healing items and all the resources, And also there's a few characters you can always recruit, so if you know about them, that also kind of makes the game a lot easier. You're kind of guaranteed to get party members. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully that hard mode is going to help to challenge people who've who already know the game inside and out. Thank you. Thanks for playing it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's gonna be tricky to balance. I have a few ideas. I have a few ideas on things to put in there. We'll see. No, but I've seen many people refer to that. I've seen many people make references to that. That's an SCP thing, right? It's like an SCP short story. Yeah, I never actually read that one. I have read a lot of SCP stuff, but I haven't really gone into like short stories. I just read like a few articles. Yeah, I didn't really go into like the short story stuff. Oh, on YouTube, why Sam's name changed from the Game Jam version? Because in the Game Jam version, Sam's name was literally just the default first character name in RPG Maker. I just never changed it. It was a Game Jam game, and sometimes there's little things like this that just slip past you. Like actually naming the main character. Yeah, the original name was Raid. And yeah, Raid was just the that was just the default name in RPG Maker. No, yeah, I don't mean Sam was the default name. I mean in the Game Jam version, his name was Raid, and Raid is the default name. So I changed it to Sam, and also made it that you could change it. Yeah. Yeah, you know, Sam was kind of meant to be... It's kind of meant to be like, you know, the player. Sort of the player self-inserting a little bit. And also... But also, like, giving you some things to sort of build the character around, but... You know, it's meant to be... Not necessarily self-inserting, but role-playing, so not necessarily as yourself, of course, but, you know, just meant to give the player some things to work from, but then kind of build the rest themselves. At first there was a bit more options there. At one point we were considering having you actually pick different portraits for Sam, too. So at first that was really meant to be more like you're really like picking a portrait and a name to really sort of drive home that this is like your character. But then the mirror scenes sort of made that less and less feasible, as it added even more, whichever portrait we added needed a bunch of different images. So we scrapped that idea of, of picking a portrait. And I mean, having a specific main character is also just helpful to have some character represent the game too. But yeah. There's no obvious other characters to represent the game. Other than, Sybil's eye. Which, that would have been okay as something to represent the game, I guess. Yeah, but not everyone's gonna kiss Lyle. And not everyone's gonna save the rat baby. So that really, so if there wasn't a main character, that would really leave very little to actually build sort of a game identity on. It's true. It's true. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Yeah. Like the more the more we sat at that stream, the more we realized. Oh. That was very fun. Listen. Those options are there. Yeah, It is very funny. It's very funny all the times that I've joined like random streams. All the times I've joined random streams and people were like in like emotional moments completely ruined by the silly name they gave to Sam. It's very funny. Yeah, that tends to be the moment where Helen goes over, huh? I feel like that tends to be the moment. Alright, I think I'm actually done with this one. Let's move on to the next one. Making some pretty good progress. Oh, actually, wait. Since we're 11, maybe I should move on to sketching that new thing. Maybe I should move on to sketching those additions. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, so I've been working on some additions to the landlord's apartment. Been working on some additions to the landlord's apartment. Let's just set some stuff aside here. And yeah, I've been working on some potential extras. Some potential extras to this. Yeah, I sketched these yesterday or a few days ago. Also, yeah, Memorial still needs actual detailing too, but yeah, we got some new fellas. And there's another new one I want to sketch up today. Yeah, so there's a few issues with the landlord's apartment. There's a few little issues with the landlord's apartment. Yeah. And one of the issues of the landlord's apartment, I explained this a bit earlier, but for anyone who's new here, one of the issues of the landlord's apartment is that once you enter, it's not clear that you can actually leave as soon as you make the first payment. And so a lot of people, once they get stuck in there, they basically do the entire landlord apartment in one go, which is pretty grueling. And the whole thing comes off as like just a very grueling dungeon crawl. And so, I've been thinking of something to hint the player that they can leave. And yes, right now I'm thinking of another one of these guys. Another one of those here. That would be a medic. That would basically give you a job of taking someone out of the apartment. Oh, there's a bunch of sketches of the typewriter. At first he was just more humanoid a bit. Yep. But yeah, so I want to add, another of these talking soldiers, and this one's going to give you a task that basically shows you that you can leave. That's the idea. And yeah, I was thinking of a medic. I was thinking of a sort of field medic. So yeah, let's make a quick sketch. Yeah, a sawbones is what they call them, right? Let's see. Thank you, Livermore Star Sign. Appreciate that. change here from the original. All right. Breaking the Geneva Convention. Geneva safe. Yeah. Yeah, well, I even kind of did a follow-up to the Pixel Shack. It's actually ending this week. Did a RPG game design workshop. Sort of almost a spiritual successor to it. Oh, down the stretch, folks. Time to stretch, folks. Okay, so that's going to be the medic sketch. And now, let's sketch the character that's going to be carried out. Let's see, who's going to be the one? There needs to be someone else, someone that you have to take out of there. Yeah. No, I don't use a tablet. I draw all of this with a mouse. Very cheap mouse, too. One of those. M100. M100 Logitech mouse. $10. It's pretty common. It's pretty common to do pixel art with a mouse. I like the idea that, you know, this guy was very heavily wounded and lost many, many limbs, but, you know, still has way, way more than you do. Gonna have to get used to, you know, to everyday life with, you know, merely 8 limbs. It's gonna be tough, but you know, I think it's kind of like when you get used to working with 2 or 3 screens, you know? It's like, hey, at first, it seems like, wow, that's way more screens than you'll ever need to work on anything. But then you get used to it, and then working with just the one screen, it just doesn't, you know, it's just not enough anymore. You know, you get used to working with yeah. This is all the Final Fantasy VI soundtrack. The soundtrack of the Pixel Remaster, which is amazing. I mean, this game, the Pixel Remaster had a few missteps, but the soundtrack is really good. Thank you, Inertia. No, that's meant to be just a bandage on one finger. Yeah, I like him. And that's fun. There we go. We got the medic and the wounded. Yeah, I like it. And these are the other upcoming new characters for that area. All right. Before I go, let's just get started on detailing the next slide. Look at this goober. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, this one I don't think is going to take me that long to detail. I'm not going to be doing it all this stream or anything, but... yeah, most of it here is just going to be texturing, I think. So that shouldn't be too bad. Tomorrow, I'll probably be working on the Kingdoms of the Dump sprite. I wanna make more progress on that. So that should be fun. Yeah, that's going to be for tomorrow's stream. And I have something else I need to do at one point. Maybe later this week. There is some freelance work for a title screen that I'll make probably a sketch of later this week. All right. But yeah, okay, so let me see if I can find someone to raid. Ooh, slam shuffle. Boop, beep, There you go. Looking for someone here. Let's see. Oh, there's someone here. All right. Let's raid Hanya, who's playing Look Outside. Let's raid Hanya. Alrighty. Alright. But yeah, thank you all for watching, folks. And take care.